How do you create spaces where people feel safe to explore both their shadows and their sensuality?
Nice. That's a great question. So right now, Samantha and I are creating Tantra 101 classes,
Yeah, what do those
which
look
is
like?
like, oh,
Yeah.
it's so cool. It's like, where can we get an opportunity to really dive into the very basics? And certainly it doesn't cover everything. But what it does is it allows people to ask those questions about,
Mm,
like, I've always felt shame with my religion or shame with my culture or shame with my parents around sex and sexuality. And they just get to say it. And
mm.
it's not bastardized. It's not made to be wrong or shamed. It's a space where shame is free to like melt away. And Samantha's so good at that. Like she has a level of dedication to removing shame and clothing that is really astounding. Like she just loves she's her goal is like, I want everybody to be naked. Like she is so good at that. So she made like brunch and boobies as well.
Yeah.
Great space for women to be able to, have brunch with their tits out. As that's what she
Love
says.
it.
And then, but also to have that reverence and sacredness and like you get to choose to your own level of involvement and
Mhm.
what's liberating and expansive for you. And so we're working on creating these spaces together through the Tantra community. And then we host our own play parties where people really can melt away shame. And so many people have said that.
Yeah.
They've been like, it was really beautiful. Like there've been lots of parties where like people just, they haven't even been having sex. They've just been connected and close to each other in an intimate and vulnerable space and thought, wow, I never knew that this is what it could be like.
Yeah.
And you
Well,
open up that possibility. Oh,
yeah, I mean, because 'cause we're not taught that,
no,
right?
we're taught that
So,
vulnerability is something to be feared and certainly not to something to do
it's a
naked.
superpower.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
I mean, it can be scary as all get out, right, to be vulnerable, but I think it's, like, the birthplace of connection and
yes,
intimacy.
deeply. And along the lines of like how to create a safe space is
Mhm.
also the way that the energy goes into it. So, I mean, and I talked about this with someone. So, in physics, right? There's potential energy and there's kinetic energy. There's probably other types, but don't catch me lying. So there's potential and kinetic energy. Potential energy is the energy that stores up as it's about to be used. Imagine a boulder perched on top of a hill. All it takes is the one
I was
little
thinking brink of
boink.
orgasm. No, I'm
Oh,
kidding.
yes. You're like 10 less steps
Okay.
ahead of me. I
No.
love it. Yes,
No, no.
absolutely.
No.
Because that's right.
Is it?
You're
Oh,
exactly right.
cool, okay. Oh, keep going.
That's what it's
No,
like.
I
Yeah,
didn't mean to
welcome. Um,
didn't mean to
not the
steal any
last time
thunder.
I've heard that. I'm kidding.
Yeah, yeah.
I have to do it occasionally just to be silly, but so
Please, silly is welcome.
yes, good. Thank
We're
you. All of us is welcome.
Yeah.
So imagine the boulder at top of the hill getting ready. Imagine the orgasm, the brink of orgasm. You're like,
Yeah.
the creation of that potential energy where you're making the environment something that's ready for kinetic energy, which is motion, things put into motion. So the potential energy is the environment you're creating. It is, and if it's filled with love and connection and compassion, those are all things that are storing up this ball of
Mm,
of potential energy. And then once people enter into that space and action starts happening, the ball starts rolling, and people start moving into and they feel into their own energy, and it just becomes this alive space. But if you bring in the energy of like expectation, or you bring in the energy of what am I going to get out of this only, like if you bring in this like selfish and not selfish, if you bring in this egocentric energy, right, where like, oh, it has to be all about me and me looking good, that is what is going to act
mm,
out in the kinetic energy. It's going to become real because you created the potential for it. So really how to create safe spaces is to curate the potential energy of an environment
mm,
into something that people can walk into and begin action, and that energy that was stored up just flows naturally. So in order to do that is really here. It
mhm.
all starts here. What is the energy of my heart? I notice if I'm going into it and I'm not grounded, I have to stop. And I've done this before at Tantra 101 with Samantha too, where one of us has been just a little off and we've looked at each other and been like, can we ground for a
Mm,
second? And she's like, oh yeah, thank you. Or I'm like, oh yeah, thank you. And then we just pause, we do our sound, breath, and movement, and we get back into it.
yeah.
Because then our energy is righted and aligned.
Mhm. It is. I mean, it's amazing what a breath will do,
Simple, right?
right? Just a breath with sound.
Samantha
Yeah.
says somewhere she read it is equivalent to 10 minutes of meditation when you do a verbal exhale. Right. You got it.
See? I was a better meditator than I thought.
You did it for 10 minutes. That was amazing.
Yeah. Take that Insight app.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
Fuck you.
Oh. Ooh, okay. Here's
Mm.
one. I know okay, we talked about what we would say to the younger self.
Mhm.
Switching gears a little bit. If your younger, self could see you now, like, what do you think they'd say or
Oh
think?
my God, they judged the fuck out of me so fast. I'd said this to Samantha too. My younger version of me would not be attracted to the version of you.
Wow.
He couldn't, because he had this idea of what it needed to be, and he
Mm,
had no openness. He was very closed, especially my 16-year-old self. It was, I'm the way, the truth, and the life, and no one comes to the Father except through me. John 14:6.
mm.
That's it. And that was all that it was.
That's
So
yeah.
it became very, he would be very narrow-minded, and he would be kind of shocked and probably a little like, really? Like, this
Yeah.
is the path that you chose? But obviously, like,
What an evolution.
yeah, truly. And I mean, that was what, 20 years ago?
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. That verse is the same one that my friend used whenever she was telling me that she was scared I was gonna go to hell.
I know. And I
Yeah.
would
And
literally
I'm
just
like,
talk to
"How do
someone
you
that,
not know that I have a relationship with Jesus? It just
right.
looks different than
Exactly.
yours."
That's the piece. I had this conversation this morning. I said, maybe when people look at that verse, they see that there's this, like, okay, Jesus is the way. But maybe what he's actually doing there is saying, do you see the way that I'm living my life? Like,
Mhm.
if you want a
With love.
heaven on earth, live like I'm living. Not the only way you're going to get there is through me. Jesus wasn't saying I'm the
Yeah.
barrier, right?
Well, I mean, even if you take it like the only way you're gonna get there through me is if you look at it as like love,
Uh-huh.
well, then how would the heaven on earth be created? It would
Right.
be
Through love.
through love.
Exactly. Yes, you're exactly
So,
right.
at least I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's like
So
interesting
good.
the interpretations or spins or the things that, we can fixate on or
Right.
yeah,
And that's just
okay.
the English translation. That's not the original Greek,
Oh, yeah,
which I can
interesting.
read.
That is fascinating.
So fun. I'm like a
Wow.
giant nerd.
Wow, no, I love that. I'm like, we all have our like little
I want to start reading Sanskrit so I can read the
How
Tantras.
ooh,
That would
how
be fun.
cool.
Anyway,
Oh, so neat. Okay. Oh. Oh, this says, okay, what sermon would you give today if you were back in front of a
that's
congregation?
so funny. I actually got to preach recently because I was a guest preacher.
Oh my God.
So okay, if I were to preach today, what I would preach is I would preach on true oneness,
Mm,
like the ability for all of us to be actually like unified, because that is what so much of the message of the church has been recently, is division, is these people are bad, these people are good, and only if you're in the good category are you going to stay with us, right? Also, my denomination is unique in that we don't have as much of that, because we have reconciling churches that are like open for everybody. Um, and so if I were to stand up and I were to give a sermon, uh, it would be how everything is connected, and you can't separate this divinity that exists within the character of Jesus from the divinity that shows up in our everyday actions towards each other. So kind of what I've been talking about, but depending on if there are kids or not in the audience, I'd also throw in some sex stuff. It'd be fun. Be like the way that that plays into it, because
yeah,
I
I want
think
to hear that.
that's an
Yeah.
untapped resource that we are not working with in the church that could really be powerful. Anyway, and the way that we are, not we, but the way that a lot of the people in the church are using sex is just so twisted and fucking
Mm.
broken. I mean, there's lots of Catholic jokes for that reason.
Yeah,
It's
no,
like
I was
fucking
just
messed up.
thinking of that. Like, okay, well, what if it was kind of brought more to light? What else wouldn't be done in the shadows?
Exactly. Because our shadows are going to show up one way or
Yeah.
another. So, and I can't tell you how many articles I've read about youth pastors in Baptist churches who have hurt and harmed children. Who, if you really want to get into the Bible and what it says, what Jesus says about people like that is, it'd be better for them to have a millstone tied around their neck and thrown to the bottom of the sea. That is
Oh, wow, that's
Jesus.
really
Yes. I know, right? Cool. He's rad.
well, I love that, there's pieces like that, and then I don't, because I don't remember. I'm like, don't quiz me. Vacation Bible
Right.
school was a long time ago.
I
But
did
although I
Bible
do
quizzing.
read some, like now, I am like combing through to see what resonates with me. It's like a
Yeah.
little daily reading that I have, and like it's a little thing. But I
Awesome.
love that because it shows the humanness
Right.
too.
There is so much variance, as you know, right? There's
Yeah.
so much nuance to this world. And for anybody to go in and declare, like, I have the answer, it's like, There's no way, bud. There's no way
Yeah.
you got it. And it's always a man.
It's
It's
always
always a man who say, I have the answer. Oh, yeah, sure. Okay, bud.
Yeah, I mean, it's fun to search for the meaning or the answer, but to declare that you have it,
Mhm. Yeah, for everybody else.
yeah,
It's like, yeah, I'm really glad that you found your answer. That is beautiful for
yeah,
you. And I don't ever want to stop that. But the moment you start telling me that has to be my answer too, that's fucked up. It's
yeah,
not the way that
not
we want to live.
universal. Yeah,
Right.
interesting. So interesting. Okay, fill in the blank. My gospel now is
The first word that comes to mind is sex, but I need
yeah.
to be more clear, right? Um, yeah. The gospel now is that you can find God in everything. And that includes
Mm.
sex, and it should include sex.
Yes. I was thinking the other day how I was like, well, if you even just think about like the omniscient, omnipresent type of
Hmm.
thing, then if God is everywhere, that includes the
That's
bedroom.
right.
It's not just like everything but that little corner.
Right, right, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. It's like God stands outside just looking in,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Creeper. No, it's like we're right
Okay.
there.
I'm like, we have a little bit more time.
I love it.
I have like this lightning round thing, but I don't
Ooh,
know how many. Yeah. Oh, it says preacher voice or bedroom voice. Which one gets more amens
yes,
now?
yes. They are one and the same at this point.
Amen.
What I mean, when you break it down, when it gets down really low, you really
Ooh,
have to drive in a point.
ooh.
Yeah. Anyway, that's so that it gets
Yeah, we
it
can
gets
do some
yeah. Should I
ASMR
start clapping my
stuff
nails
right now.
against
Let's
the
whisper and
like? Come here,
do you need a
come.
little drink?
All right,
Should I drink a
everybody.
little?
Yeah, come here, and get on your knees for me. It's the same voice, you know?
Oh.
Yeah, right? Lay down at my altar. I will
Oh,
show you
that
how to be
reminds me of
worshiped.
this radio station I listened to growing
Do
up.
you?
Yeah, it's like the quiet storm.
Oh, nice. I
It's
love
like
it.
on at night, you know?
Most worship songs are inherently sexual. So when someone's like, Jesus is coming down the road. I'm like, oh, wow, okay.
Yeah. Okay, let's see here. Mm-mm-mm. Hmm. I don't know. I don't know if any of these really like resonate with what I'm feeling now. Let's see. Like, is there anything that's feeling alive for
Yeah,
you
well,
that
I'm
you want to talk
curious for
about?
you. I'm curious about
Yeah.
like the ways that, especially growing up in Texas, like what are the
Hmm.
ways in which like religion and sexuality influenced you?
Um, I was rebellious,
Nice.
so I would say there was that piece. It just I remember going to like my grew up in a super small town. There's like
Hmm.
church on every corner.
Hmm.
There's the church that the cool kids went. There's
Yeah,
yeah,
I know what you mean.
yeah, and then there was this other one. I just remember it didn't sit with me like
Yeah.
the piece about oh, if you like the brimstone piece, like, oh, if you get in a car wreck on
Hmm.
the way home tonight, are you gonna be on the right
Hmm.
side of heaven or
Right.
Jesus, you know? And that just never, I was like, that doesn't sit.
Yeah.
I love that I have that perspective that I grew up with
Hmm.
so that I can, it's like points of resonance and I understand it and I know it.
Yeah.
And it created a lot of like taboo enticement too, because I'm
Nice.
super drawn to the taboo. I always have been like, or if you tell me I can't do something, I'm gonna kick back against that and like have a little rebellious energy.
Hmm.
But then
Yeah.
so I had that, and then I also had my stepdad tell me at one point he pulled up a map of religion on the computer and he was like,
Nice.
you only because I asked why we weren't going to church anymore, and he said you likely only believe what you grew up around, and it was all color coded, and that was just a very like paradigm shift moment because I was like, oh, okay, if that's true for religion, then what else is that true for
Nice.
everything? So it spurred this like want to go do it, see an experience type of thing.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, but there was a piece of it too that was like, okay, maybe I just keep it to myself. So even if I
Oh
was
yeah.
having a lot of that rebellious like energy or experimentation or that sort of thing, is like nobody can know about this.
Do not tell my
Which
parents.
yeah, which even whenever I named my book,
Hmm.
it was not called Sex, Drugs, and Soul
That's right.
initially. Yeah, it was called The Scenic Route Home.
Hmm.
And they're like, well, tell us about it. And I was like, well, it's sex, drugs, and soul. Or it's like sex, drugs, and then the tapping into the soul part. And they're like, that's your title.
Right.
That's what's going to make people
It's
curious.
evocative.
Yeah. leading up to publishing, though, it felt like my skin was crawling,
Oh, I
like the
imagine.
release of any, remaining shame, or like, okay,
Mhm.
this is what I'm stepping into.
Mhm. Yeah.
This is what I'm claiming.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be a sex chick.
Yeah, that's you, I guess.
Yeah.
And, like,
I'm
so
like,
what?
wow. It's very contrasting to the good girl image that
Right.
I've represented or presented for so long.
Yeah, I hear that, and
Um,
I get that
yeah.
too, in the sense of a lot of that same stuff has happened for me, in that, my dad passed away in 2017,
Mm.
but, and if he was still alive, oh my god, I would hear about it every day, but I don't. So,
Yeah, yeah.
but, like, my mom and my brother and my sister,
Mhm.
they are still around, and my brother was a wild child in high school. He was the rebellious one
Mm.
going nuts. Things that I was like, "I didn't even know you could do that at 14 years old."
Yeah.
Like, and I was the goody two shoes boy. But now we've kind of switched. I'm doing a little bit more wild things, but consciously.
Mhm.
And, he's going to church now, and he's got a wife and with a baby on the way. And, like, he's settled
Wow.
down. Right. But, like, when I don't tell my mom and my sister about this stuff. I can't. And, they know I have podcasts out there. They know kind of what I'm doing, but we just don't really talk about it. And, like,
Yeah.
it's just kind of under the rug.
My mom asked me, she's like, "What are you doing?" And I said, like, I had a client. She's like, "What kind of client?"
And
I
you're
said,
like,
like, a Tantra client. She's like, "What is Tantra?" I was like,
well,
"Do you really want to go here?"
how much time do you got, mom? And yeah.
Sometimes, yeah. Ask what you really want to know. And then,
Yeah. Because this is going to be a fun answer for your mom.
yeah. Which, I mean, she loves me regardless. I will say, like,
Yeah.
I've been the wild
Yeah.
hippie one, or the unicorn of the
Yes.
family for a while, that it's just kinda like, of course. But,
Yeah.
there's still, she just has a different outlook, perspective, and
Mhm.
that sort of thing.
Mhm. That's fair.
But, yeah, it definitely, like, created, like, I guess, like, the duplicity living for a while.
Right.
So this
Yeah.
feels just like me being who I
Yeah,
am.
you getting to be
Yeah,
authentic and being who you are. And
yeah.
that's really huge. I think if there's anything that comes out of this, it's like, what I recognize is that, yeah, I've grown up in a really unique way, and I've been able to apply my gifts in a really unique way. But if I wasn't, I wouldn't be living my authentic life. Like, I'd
Yeah.
have to, like, not hold on to, like, grasp onto, but I'd really appreciate the way that the things I've learned have informed how I live today.
Mm,
And if I were to just be
mhm.
like, "Oh, yeah, that doesn't matter," I wouldn't be living authentically.
Yeah.
Even if some people might look at me and be like, "Dude, you talk about Jesus a lot for someone who also fucks." Like, I'm like, "Well, yeah, you're right, and that's
Jesus
okay."
spoke too.
Yeah, Jesus fucked
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
Don't tell
Aren't
me
there
you
a lot
didn't.
of lost years?
Yeah. So there's so with this, like, divinity piece, right? It's my question for you is, like, there's there's so much talk about, like, the divine masculine and the divine feminine and, like, all these energies in the world of tantra, right? Like, that's fair
Mhm.
to say. So, like, my question for you is, have you seen really what those begin to look like? And have you seen more divine feminine? Have you seen more divine masculine? And I'm not saying, like, in women or in men, just, like, in general, which of those energies, or maybe both of them,
I
show
feel
up
like
more
there's definitely
prevalently?
a shift or a rebalancing happening right now.
Mhm.
Um, like, and that's what I feel like it is, like the rebalancing versus, because, like, being in the patriarchal kind of
Mhm, mhm,
realm for so long, I think it's, not hating on that, but
mhm.
it's just rebalancing things, coming back to that kind of space. And so I see that, but
Yeah,
I'm also looking for it. So I
that's
don't
true.
know how much of it is my brain finding the evidence to support, like, my beliefs or ideology, or like what is transpiring, because I feel like
Right.
sometimes I'm like, okay, I'm all my feed is like tantra,
Yep,
all this stuff,
yep.
so I have to step back sometimes and realize, like, this isn't like the mainstream thing
Yeah.
yet.
This is not the
So
world at
yeah,
large,
yeah.
right?
So it's like, okay, I'm like, is it, or is it just like what I'm seeing or seeing shift? But I will say, with my work with men,
Mhm.
it's been super, super paradigm shifting,
That's
as far as like
awesome.
what they're coming to work on, or what
Mhm,
they want to experience,
mhm,
how they're moving forward in the world
mm,
afterwards. I mean, that's gonna have ripples and ripples
yeah,
and ripples. So
for sure.
so yeah, in some ways.
I love that. I love
Yeah.
to hear that, because I think there
And I
is
love men. Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
I am getting there. I think I have this part of me that still is very much, like,
Yeah.
angry at men,
Mhm.
because of dad stuff, right?
Yeah.
But also just because even the ones that I encounter many times, I'm like, this is not it. Like, this is not the energy that
It's
I'm wanting to be around.
yeah, it's providing the contrast for like
Exactly.
this is like the outer boundary or like
Yeah.
you know when you go bowling and you
Yeah,
have
the
the
lane,
bumper.
the
Yeah,
alley,
yeah,
yeah.
you're like, okay,
The
here's the
gutter.
alley.
You're right
Yeah.
in the gutter, y'all. And
Yeah.
when I talked about the soccer field before, that's what I kind of mean is like there's a lot of room to run around.
Mm-hmm.
But there are some clear out of bounds too. Like,
Yeah.
we don't need to go there, you know?
Yeah, like the one you mentioned with the millstone.
Yes,
That
exactly.
was
Oh yeah, that's way out of bounds. Holy
yeah,
shit.
I know. Okay, so we're out of time. Do
Okay.
you drop anything you want to drop?
Right.
Points of connection or just offer anything?
Yeah, so
Just
y'all can
yeah,
find me on Instagram at
yeah.
Anthony._Michael. That's a great way to find me. I also find Samantha. She's really
Mm-hmm.
doing incredible tantra work. Samantha, oh no, hers is Houston Tantra Girl, and it's
Mm-hmm.
great.
Now,
So those
yeah,
are great places for us to be contacted and connected with, especially if you're looking for a community in Houston,
for sure.
because there's
Houston,
so
reach
many
out.
communities in
Yeah.
Austin, and it's awesome, and there's great places here, but there haven't been a lot in
There
Houston.
hasn't been a lot in Houston, and I love to see it grow and develop there because
Yeah.
Houston's always kind of been like a
Hmm.
uh,
Yeah, yeah.
for me.
There's been some
But
places
it
where
speaks back to like way, way, way earlier trauma
it's a big
and
city.
murder. Yeah.
It's a huge
Yeah.
city. So there's a lot more expansion now where we're
Hmm.
getting to the place where it's very welcome. So,
See, that's a shift.
yay.
I think that's a shift.
It is.
That's, the evidence.
Woohoo!
Okay, awesome. Well, thank you guys for tuning in. Love you. Bye.